Just go buy some masks. We've all lived in mask land for a while now. My partner's kids started off with a number of masks but have either grown out of them or lost them as kids do. I think they are down to 2-3 each at our house. My partner had been the one to buy most of them. His ex has bought maybe 4 total the entire time. He took the kids back to her house today without masks since they don't need them the next couple of days and we are low on them as well. He received this gem not long afterwards. X, the kids don't have any masks here. You need to bring some over. No asking. Not volunteering to come to our house to pick them up. Just a demand that we drop our day to cater to her because she can't be bothered to go buy her own for the kids. He rebutted that we don't have many either and she should probably order some. Update, entitled X, all you had to do was not cheat. I've posted before about my partner's entitled X, who I will call Linda, not her real name. You can see my previous post about the situation with the kids' masks. I want to share some of the entitlement I've seen and heard about through the years. Keep in mind, these stories are several years old and we aren't looking for advice. This first story was before my partner and I ever met. My partner and his ex had been together for 10 years, and they had 2 young children together. When they got engaged, they both agreed to go no contact with any exes. He was working 10-hour days with an hour commute each way. He would leave the house at 5:30 a.m. and get back around the same time in the p.m. He hated being away so much, but the pay and 4 work days is why he stayed. Linda worked part-time in a law office. She is a lawyer but at the time didn't participate in court. My partner told me how he would frequently come home to her already drunk, and Amazon packages piled up. She threw a fit when he added wine to their monthly budget because it pointed out how much she drank. On to the story. He noticed that Linda had been pulling away. She had been acting off and secretive with her phone. He ended up looking at her email via their daughter's iPad. He found a conversation between her and her college ex-BF where she asks, "Are things over between us?" He responds, "I love you, but I have to think about my wife and kids. You have to think about your family as well." After some more digging, he found lewd pictures they had exchanged. He asked if Linda when the last time she spoke to this ex. She lied to his face and said years. When he confronted her with the evidence, she said it was my partner's fault because he's working and she's stressed. Due to the kids, my partner didn't want to give up on the marriage just yet, and they decided to get couples counseling. The first counselor came down on both of them and let them see they both shared blame. Linda didn't like admitting something was her fault, and insisted that they change counselors. The second one laid everything at my partner's feet. Linda's cheating was his fault, the drinking was his fault, everything that Linda did was his fault. While they were attending the sessions, he noticed the signs again. Linda was pulling away and secretive with her phone. Once again he looked. Linda had met someone on an exercise app. They were playing 20 questions and getting to know each other in an overly familiar way. Most was innocent, but they started talking about how they both liked great sex. He also found out that they had a FaceTime movie date while he was away with their daughter. The next time while they were in therapy, he brought it up. The counselor was stunned, turns to Linda, and says, "You had one job. Don't cheat, and you couldn't do that." Not long afterwards, Linda asked for a divorce. My partner knew it was over but begged to stay. With his work schedule, he knew he wouldn't be able to see the kids as frequently as he wanted. His main goal since has been to get 50-50 custody, which he eventually did. Update, entitled Linda and Kid Pickup. At this point in the story, Linda and her ex, my partner, had separated. Before the separation, Linda had a part-time job while my partner worked full-time and commuted an hour each way. My partner also didn't work on Fridays, but he was working on a master's degree at the time and used Fridays to catch up on studying and homework. During the first couple of years, my partner wasn't able to have the kids as much as he wanted. As he told me, he could either pay the mother child support or pay for a sitter. Since they were so young, he figured it was best that they stay with their mom. With child support and alimony, he was paying her 40% of his net paycheck. After they separated, Linda was quickly able to get a full-time job at her work which paid very well. My partner was happy for her, and asked about reducing alimony as he was having a hard time month to month. She said no, and there wasn't much he could do as they had agreed to alimony for the first 2 years. Linda sent an email to my partner requesting that he help out more now that she was working full-time. He asked specifically what she wanted. Linda told him that she wanted him to pick the kids up every Friday since he was off. Even on Fridays where she had the kids that weekend. I initially agreed with her, and understood where she was coming from. She had a considerable majority of the drop-offs and pickups due to the custody arrangement. She was starting a new job and was given some flexibility for her family, but needed help. Her parents were also helping her when they could. My partner brought up after-school care, but she refused to consider it. I told him it gave him more time with his kids every week, which he was glad to have. For the next 10 months, he without fail picked the kids up every Friday after school and took them to their moms after 5:30 on her weekends. She never gave appreciation or thanks the entire time. It was just expected that he cater to her schedule and sacrifice his time. We both figured that if we wanted to go out of town for a long weekend, she wouldn't have a problem with picking the kids up. We were very, very wrong. After almost a year of this arrangement, we were invited to a party in a city about 4 hours away. It was a lot of my partner's old college friends who he hadn't seen in a couple of years. With the distance, we decided to make a weekend trip of it. I would take a half day on Friday, and we would go up after lunch. We would be able to visit the city for a bit and attend the party the next day. We only had a couple of weeks' notice about the party, and it occurred on a weekend Linda had the kids. This is where we ran into trouble. Partner to Linda, I've been invited friend's house for a party next weekend. I plan to go there after lunch on Friday to have more time and not arrive so late. Are you or your parents able to pick up the kids from school? Linda, no, I can't pick them up. You have to do it. Don't ask my parents either. They aren't available to you. Partner, can I bring them over earlier then? If I don't leave our city until 5:30, I won't arrive until after 10 p.m. due to traffic. Linda, not my problem. Partner, this is your weekend. I've picked the kids up every Friday in order to help you. I'm asking you to pick them up on your Friday just once. Linda, I'm not available. You have to pick them up. Partner, I've spoken to mutual friend. They are able to pick up the kids after school and bring them to your house when you get home. This friend and my partner would regularly help each other out before the split, however Linda had a tantrum and a falling out with them afterwards. Linda, OMG. I can't believe you. You agreed to pick up the kids every Friday. Partner, the kids will have fun playing with mutual friends' kids. I agreed to this to help you. I didn't realize you would be so unreasonable with any request. Linda, fine. I will pick them up. I will figure it out like I always do because you won't. In the end, Linda was able to pick up the kids just fine. We were able to make the trip. Afterwards, we went back to picking them up every Friday. It continued every week for the next 2 years until COVID hit. When it started to lighten up and people started to go back to the office, Linda brought up my partner picking the kids up every Friday again. Except now, he has half the drop-offs and pickups due to having them half-time. He told Linda that if she wanted help she had to ask every Friday that she needed it, still refuses after-school care. If we're available, we will help, but we won't work our schedule around her any longer. Update, entitled Linda feels that she should know about ex-husband's relationship status. You can see my post history about Linda's antics and some background. My partner and I met and started dating a couple of months after we split from our respective spouses, and we were taking things slow. He had 2 young kids, and wanted to consider them. After a year, my partner planned for me to meet his kids after Christmas break. Although most of his friends knew about me, we kept the relationship quiet and off of social media. I asked that he tell Linda about me before the meet, and give her the option to meet me first as I was going to be in her kids' lives. I thought it was respectful and would make her feel more comfortable. My partner messaged Linda that he had been dating someone for a while now and wanted to introduce me to the kids. Linda asked, "What is a while?" He told her when we started dating and it had been almost a year. Her response, "I am absolutely floored that you have been dating someone for a year, and you didn't tell me." We had a bit of a laugh over her response as it wasn't really her business who he dated. This was more of a courtesy because I was going to be around the kids. My partner told me at least he waited until after the marriage was over to pursue a relationship. I guess she expected that my partner would always be single. These expectations always went one way with her. She never mentioned her dating life or seeing anyone to my partner. She even moved with the kids and didn't tell him. She figured their 6-year-old would do so. It ended with her saying she didn't want to meet me yet, and that it was awkward for her. She of course never returned the favor. She introduced the kids to a guy she was dating within 3-4 months not long after. Update, entitled Linda wants us to change our vacation for her conference. You can look at my previous posts for background on my partner's ex-wife, who I will call Linda, not real name. At this point in time, Linda had been told about me just a few months ago. I had met my partner's kids and we were getting along. Linda was even dating a guy in a city a couple of hours away. Occasionally Linda would try and use my partner for free babysitting if she wanted to go out but had the kids. She would tell him, "I can hire a sitter, but I figured you would want to spend time with the kids." She knew my partner missed his kids terribly, and that she would use it against him if he said no. My partner and I had decided to plan a vacation several months in advance a few states away. We planned it on a weekend my partner didn't have the kids. We happily booked the trip and my partner put on his joint calendar with Linda that he would be out of state. This is where the problem began. Within 5 minutes, Linda deleted the calendar event. "Linda, keep your vacations on your own calendar." "Partner, I figured you would want to know I was going to be out of state, but okay." "Linda, you can't go that weekend. I have a work conference." Both of us know her work doesn't have conferences on weekends. "Partner, why didn't you tell me? It is your weekend to have the kids." "Linda, I didn't think I had to ask 3 months in advance. I can hire a sitter for that weekend, but I figured you would want to spend more time with the kids." "Partner, what is the conference about?" "Linda, it's none of your business. It's in city her BF lives in." She knew my partner would help if it was work related. We both kind of saw through it at that point. She was involved with a running group and there was probably a marathon that weekend that she wanted to attend with her BF. My partner stood his ground and reminded Linda she needed to ask him if it was her weekend. We weren't changing the vacation as it was more expensive to change to another week. Fast forward a few months, we posted pics on social media about the vacation. My partner gets a message just a few minutes after posting. "Linda, you need to tell me if you're going out of state. What if something happened and I needed you to watch the kids?" "Partner, I put it on our joint calendar months ago. You deleted it, remember?" No response from Linda after that. We ended up having a relaxing time. Linda never found a sitter and ended up not going to the conference. Update, entitled Linda and Subscription Services. This story about Linda will be a bit longer since it spanned a couple of years. You can see my previous posts for other Linda stories. When my partner and Linda first split, Linda was getting about 35% of my partner's net salary in alimony and child support. With also paying for rent and kid camps, his paycheck was stretched thin. Linda's paycheck was also stretched thin as she felt she and the kids needed new bedroom furniture even though she maintained all of most furniture when they split and all of the kids. Since money was tight on both ends, they decided to continue sharing a few subscription services. The main ones being membership to a big box store, a video streaming service, and membership to a neighborhood recreation club that had a pool. With everything else going on, they never discussed how to pay for all of these. It never came up until Linda got a notification for renewing the membership at the big box store. My partner received the email and they had a pleasant exchange while Linda never saw the hypocrisy of it. "Linda, are you still using my big box store membership?" The renewal came up. "If you are still using it, please pay me half of the $60 for the renewal for the year." "Partner, I am still using it. We agreed to continue to split some of these subscriptions. Are you still using my streaming service?" Linda, "Yes." Not seeing the irony. "Partner, the service is $10 per month or $120 a year. If you take out what I owe for the store membership, please pay me $30 for the year." Linda, "I can't believe you. You're trying to nickel and dime me and the kids for $30. I will just tell the kids why all of our profiles are gone." Forgetting that she literally was asking for the same thing. The kids were still having a difficult time with the separation and saw all the profiles together as still being a family. "Partner, I'm not arguing about this, and you shouldn't use the kids as pawns. The options are, 1. We continue with you paying the store membership and me the streaming service. 2. We can get our own services each. 3. We split them 50-50 and you pay me $30. Linda, "Fine. We will continue as we are currently doing." Because she didn't want to pay an extra $120 a year. Fast forward 3 years, my partner and I were serious and had moved in together. We decided that we were going to split the subscriptions for ourselves. Linda had a serious BF who we thought was going to move in eventually. This led to another pleasant exchange. "Partner, Linda, we have been separated for 4 years now. We have both moved on with our lives, and we are in serious relationships. I think it is time we get our own subscriptions. You get your own streaming service and I'll get my membership to the store. I will take the kids onto my account for the recreational club as a family account. If you wish to keep yours, you can have an individual for yourself to save money." Linda, I have been asking you for years to split everything because I want no ties to you, but you were too cheap. She asked once. I agree. We will split those things from now on. This is where we stand now. We each have our own accounts. Linda is still miserable when she sees us being happy, and life goes on. Her BF still hasn't moved in. Update, entitled Linda unshares kid calendar because she doesn't know how technology works. A quick Linda story from this weekend. Linda and my partner have a joint calendar for the kids. It tracks who has them, appointments, activities, etc. Linda also has this calendar as her default and apparently doesn't know how to change it. Whenever she makes a restaurant reservation, it saves to the kids' calendar. Linda will quickly move it to hers, and delete the entry on the kids' one. It also sends my partner a notification that an event was deleted. My partner saw Linda had deleted several entries for restaurants in a city about 5 hours away. We figured she is going to go on vacation while we go away with the kids. Since she was planning on meeting us near the resort to pick up their daughter for a school event the day before we left ourselves, my partner asked if she just wanted to swing by the resort to pick her up since it's on the way home from that city. It would also save my partner 2 hours in traveling and he could spend more time with their young son. Linda, how do you know I'm going anywhere? Partner, I saw the deleted entries for the restaurants in the kids' calendar. I've heard city is nice and one of the restaurants is excellent. I hope to try it sometime. Linda, the pickup will stay as planned. Linda then decided the most reasonable thing to do was to remove the kid's father from the joint calendar. So now he can't see any of their activities, and we have to rely on Linda to actually tell us if she plans something. Edit, it was suggested to give a little background. Linda requires us to tell her when we go out of state in case there is an emergency. She threw a fit when my partner did that once even though she deleted it from the joint calendar. However, she refuses to tell us the same. Update, entitled Linda and the daughter's birthday party cost. One thing I will give Linda credit for is planning her kids' birthday parties. She always put a lot of effort and time into them. However, she also didn't care about the cost. Linda's parents usually paid for them. This story takes place around her and my partner's daughter's birthday several years ago. He was still paying her $1,600 a month in child support at this time due to not having the kids often because of his job. My partner asked Linda a couple of months in advance what she was planning. He knew she would ask for money and wanted to get his finances right and to make sure Linda wasn't going over the top with for a 7-year-old. Linda told him she didn't know what the plan was at that time. My partner received the invitation for his daughter's birthday a few weeks before it happened. It was this event place where the girls could eat, get their nails painted, change into outfits, and put on a fashion show. Linda even bought a huge cake. She didn't include my partner in any of the planning around the party or the cost. He just received an invite like a regular attendant. He heard nothing from Linda on costs leading up to the party. She would just ignore his messages when he asked. He figured her parents were probably footing the bill as they usually did. Now had Linda gone to him and said daughter really wants to do this for her birthday. It will be expensive, but could you pay for the cake? My partner would happily have done it. He would have been fine with splitting it too if she had asked. He was already buying his daughter a few $100s worth of gifts. The party came and went, we both attended and the kids had a good time. A few days later, my partner and Linda have this exchange. Linda, the party went well. Please pay me what you think is appropriate for your part. Partner, I asked you months ago what you were planning, and you didn't know. You did not include me in any discussion leading up to it. How much you pay for this? Linda, daughter wanted this type of party and to have a good time with her friends. I can't believe you are being so cheap. Partner, since you didn't include me in any discussion for the party beforehand, I'll put more money in daughter's college fund instead. Linda to this day hasn't contributed even $1 to the kids' college funds. Linda, that is not the same. I did a lot for this party. Pay me what you think is appropriate. Partner, what did you pay for the party? Linda, that isn't the point. You're being so cheap right now. You are always cheap. Partner, what did you pay? Linda never responded and refused to tell my partner the cost. We figure her parents paid for it and she didn't know and just wanted a handout. With as much as he was giving her already, he didn't want to give her more. He was always fine with paying for half of school supplies and other expenses as needed, but this was over the top. Of course Linda ended up getting us back when it came to their son's birthday dinner a few months later, but that is next week's story. Update, entitled Linda expects a free dinner for her son's birthday. This story takes place a few months later for their son's birthday. We had found out that Linda had a family dinner on the daughter's actual birthday, but refused to invite her father. We had the kids for the son's actual birthday and decided to rise above it by having a birthday dinner for him. We invited Linda and her BF to a nice restaurant with the kids. We were going to invite the Linda's parents, but she told my partner, "Don't you dare invite my mom." We aren't entirely sure why. We think Linda wanted to paint a negative picture of my partner to her mom by saying he didn't invite her. Before we left for the dinner, my partner told me he would be expected to pay for Linda and her BF who he had never met, and they had only been dating 3-4 months at that point. I told him that was absurd. They had been divorced for 2 years at that point. Why wouldn't Linda and her BF pay for themselves? He said because he set this dinner up and invited them, Linda will expect him to pay for them. The dinner went fine, if a little awkward, but the kids liked having dinner with both parents. Sure enough, the bill came and was placed in the middle of the table. Linda stared intently ahead with her hands in her lap, not even glancing at the bill. My partner paid, and as we waited for the waiter to bring the check back, I thanked my partner for dinner. Linda glared at me and kept her mouth shut. Her BF wasn't paying attention. To top it off, Linda eventually texted my partner, "BF wanted me to tell you he says thank you for his dinner." She absolutely refused to even say thank you, and she expected to be treated to dinner without any appreciation to him. Update, entitled Linda and the Life Insurance Policy. When Linda and partner divorced, they each had life insurance policies to help raise the kids if something unexpected happened. The money would go into a trust where a family member would be the executor. Part of their agreement was that they had to maintain their respective policies until they expired, which is when this story takes place. They had to reach an agreement about a new policy or just not have one. Due to when they were set up, partner's policy expired about 9 months before Linda's. Partner reached out to Linda to discuss getting a new policy in place about 6 months before his expired. He wanted to pay for her policy and she pay for his so they could have more control over where the money went if one of them died. Linda wasn't having it because partner's policy was more expensive. However, she wouldn't even tell him that she disagreed. She would just ghosted him. In her typical fashion, she would never respond to his emails, texts about the life insurance policy. She wouldn't discuss if she was planning to renew her policy or how they should be set up for beneficiaries. For months, she never responded about it until partner's policy was set up and he sent her this email. "Partner, Linda, I have set up the life insurance policy for 15 years for myself in case I pass away. It would be long enough to take the kids through college. Since you have refused to answer my multiple emails about beneficiaries, I have left the money split between the kids. Linda, how dare you? If you leave the money to the kids, I would have to go to court and prove I'm their mother in order to use it. I would have to get court approval to use the money to buy a car, and they could say no. Do you know how humiliating that would be? I can't believe you think I wouldn't use it for their benefit. I don't even know what to say. You need to change the policy now. I should be the sole beneficiary if you die. Partner, you have ignored my previous request to discuss this and other issues. If you had paid for my policy, you could have decided where the money went. I will update the policy to you as the beneficiary when you show me your policy with the same." Linda, "Fine. I can't believe you don't trust me with the money. She spends like it's going out of style. I also remember you have daughter as the beneficiary for one of your other accounts. I want you to change that to me as well. Partner, once you send verification on your policy, I will change mine where you are the 100% beneficiary if you do the same. I can't change daughter's account to you because of the account type, it's specific to minors. If you really want access to her money as well, she can choose to sign it over to you after she turns 12 if I die before then." In the end, they both got what they wanted. This situation was particularly frustrating as partner also wanted to discuss summer camps, vacations, and a change in the custody. Linda refused to discuss anything though unless it involved money. Update, entitled Linda and Child Custody. You can see my post history for previous Linda stories and background. Before COVID, partner only had the kids 5 out of 14 nights due to his work. He even had to get special permission from his boss to come in late one day every other week to get the 5 nights. When businesses and schools went remote because of COVID, Linda reached out. She couldn't manage her work and make sure the kids were on track with remote school. She demanded that partner take them 2 additional nights. He agreed as it ultimately gave him 50-50 custody without having to fight Linda or go to court. However, the nights she requested were not in our favor. Without going into details, we had the kids 5 consecutive nights one week, and 2 separate nights the other week. No one knew how long remote COVID was going to last, so we agreed. We didn't see at the time was what it truly meant. The days were arranged in a way where we never had more than 3 nights without the kids, while Linda had 5 nights every other week. We could never go out of town for more than 3 nights without Linda giving her consent, and she never would. Telling us it's our problem, not hers. The kids hated the arrangement as well. They didn't like coming to partner's house for one single night as it was really disruptive to their routine. Partner didn't feel he got quality time with them either. He eventually reached out to Linda to discuss the situation after almost half a year of this arrangement. Linda, however, was still bitter about us moving in together and refused to change anything that was an advantage for partner. Partner, we need to discuss the custody arrangement. I don't feel I get quality time with the kids, and they have said multiple times they don't like coming here for one night. I would like to move the 2 separate days I have them together. We would only need to switch one of the days. I'm flexible on whichever day works best for your schedule. Linda, the schedule is staying how it is. I'm not changing it. Partner, why not? Linda, I don't have to give you a reason. The schedule stays the same. Partner, the kids hate the schedule as well. We need to move it for their benefit. Linda, you can ask me for a change, and I can say no. I'm saying no. The schedule stays the same. Partner, we designed our agreement to give flexibility for the schedule, and so we don't have to go to court and pay the fees. However, we need to have something that works for both of us and the kids. Linda, I'm still saying no. If you don't like it, you can take me to court. Partner never responded to that. Linda was just getting more and more aggravated. He let her cool for a couple of days and gave her a call. Partner, what is your real concern about switching the schedule? Linda, son has physical therapy on the day you want to take them. I wouldn't be able to see what he does and be involved. I wouldn't be able to tell the progress he's making. Partner, I would never stop you from attending his sessions. You can attend as many as you want, just let me know. After this, Linda agreed to the switch. We knew her heartfelt reason was BS. She just didn't want us to have what would be an advantage as she saw it. How did we know it was a BS reason? Their son's therapy occurs weekly. Linda has attended exactly 2 sessions in almost 2 years. Update, entitled Linda doesn't understand how child support works. This will be my last story about Linda unless I remember another or something happens in present day. The story follows my last post about Linda's request for partner to take the kids for 4 additional nights a month during COVID when they were remote learning. A bit of background. When they divorced, they had agreed to follow the state's suggested child support CS calculator. The amount you receive is based on how often you have the kids and the gross salary of each person. It can change year to year. Linda only had a part-time job at the time of divorce, but partner knew she would get a good paying one once she went full-time. Linda knew partner would eventually get a promotion with considerably more money and wanted a piece of it when it happened. The flexible calculator worked best for them. Pre-COVID, partner had the kids few nights, and he was paying Linda about $800 a month. Linda's request for him to take the kids more frequently pushed them 50-50 custody, which dropped CS considerably. After a couple of months of remote, it became apparent that this wasn't ending anytime soon. Partner had already arranged to work remote permanently as well, so he could take the kids half-time from now on. He ran the updated numbers and discussed it with Linda. Partner, Linda, now that I have the kids half-time, we are entering into a different category of CS. Do you want to adjust how much I'm paying you now or wait until September and adjust then? Linda, you do not have the kids half-time. Continue to pay what you're paying currently. We can adjust in September if it's needed. Which I doubt it will be. As the months passed, partner asked Linda a couple of times if she wanted to adjust. She always said no. Then came September. Numbers are made up but representative of the actual. Partner, Linda, I've had the kids half-time since March. You have not updated me on your current salary, so I will assume you received a standard raise and are making $94,000 this year. Below are the calculations for my salary, your salary, the adjustment for the kids' health care I pay, and the number of nights I will have them for the year. I will pay you a final amount of $250 for September, and my obligation to CS will be done for the year. Linda, are you serious right now? I can't believe you. 1. I do not make $94,000 a year. I make $93,200. 2. I want proof of your salary. 3. I want proof of the healthcare you're claiming you spent for their insurance. I will then run the numbers to check. Partner sends all requested information. I reran the calculation with what you provided, and the amount is adjusted to $290 for September. 2 weeks later. Partner, Linda, have you had time to review the numbers? I want to give the kids money into one of their accounts, but I need this settled first to determine how much I'm able to give. Linda, I reran the numbers myself. The $290 amount is correct. I hope you do right by the kids and use the money you are saving to put in their college account. Especially since my parents have put a lot of money into them. Linda has never given even $1 to either kids' accounts. After this, partner has had to send Linda the yearly amount he will be giving her. The last time he sent her the calculations, she informed him that he rounded his numbers and should be giving her a few cents more every month. While I have other stories of Linda lying to make herself look good to others, none of them really fit in this sub. If something happens in present day, I will make sure to post it.